Half the Truth, Chapter 4, The New Weight.
A week becomes a routine. It's not much of one. Wake up, survive the noise of 100 open books, sit through classes where Grace tries to save my soul through literature, and Voss tries to reduce the universe to equations, and Rob Dunn performs friendliness like a man rehearsing for a role he hasn't been cast in yet. Eat meals I don't taste. Walk quiet hallways when I can. Retreat to room 217 when the noise gets too loud. And every evening at 8, I sit in Cole's corner. We don't talk much. That's the arrangement, though we've never said it out loud. I sit, he sits, we read our books. Or, I pretend to read mine while cataloging every microshift in his aura, which is probably not what healthy friendship looks like. But I've never had much practice at healthy anything. Sometimes one of us says something. Small things. Observations about the common room or complaints about the food or, once, memorably, a 3-sentence argument about whether the common room TV was permanently stuck on a home renovation channel or if someone was actively choosing to watch it. He argued for active choice. I argued for a broken remote. We never resolved it. It's the closest thing to normal I've experienced in 8 months. The shadows in his corner still move sometimes, tiny shifts, an edge stretching, a pocket of darkness deepening when his mood dips. He doesn't notice. I always do. I've started keeping a mental catalog. The shadows respond to negative emotions, but not positive ones. Annoyance makes them twitch. Loneliness makes them thicken. The one time Derek swung by for another drive-by provocation, the shadow behind Cole's chair pulled forward like a dog straining at a leash. But when Cole is calm, when we're sitting together in comfortable silence and his surface aura eases into something approaching peace, the shadows settle. They're still dense, still present, still distinctly his. But they rest, like they know there's no threat, and they can stand down. I wonder what they'd do if he were happy. Actually happy, not just the absence of pain. I wonder if I'll ever find out. On Tuesday morning, Grace pulls me aside before English.
New student arriving today.
Her aura is doing the gold pulse thing. She gets excited about new arrivals, the way some people get excited about stray animals. Every damaged kid who walks through the gate is a chance to help, which is beautiful, and also exactly why she's burning out.
International transfer. She's had a rough transition and she doesn't know anyone. I'm hoping you might.
Show her around?
Would you? You don't have to. I just thought, since you're still new yourself, you might understand what it's like coming in cold.
I almost say no. Every new person is a new book forced open in my hands, and I'm already carrying too many. But Grace's aura is so earnest, so genuinely hopeful, that refusing feels like kicking a puppy. Sure, she arrives at noon. I'm waiting in the lobby with Janet behind the desk and a guidance counselor named Dr. Counts. Reese, who smells like hand sanitizer and regret. The gate camera shows a car pulling up, not a social worker's sedan this time, but an official-looking SUV with tinted windows. Someone in the system is taking more care with this transfer than they took with me. The girl who walks through the front door doesn't walk the way most new students walk. There's no hunched shoulders, no darting eyes, no protective curve of the body that says, I'm afraid, but I won't show it. She walks like her body is a machine she's spent years calibrating, every movement precise, every step placed with intention. Her posture is military straight without being stiff. Her weight is centered in a way that suggests she could change direction or react to a threat in a fraction of a second. She's small. That's the thing that strikes me first. Maybe 5'3", slender, with black hair pulled back tight and a face that's all clean angles. Korean, I think, or somewhere in that region. She's wearing clothes that are functional and plain, the kind chosen by someone who doesn't dress for appearance but for movement. She carries one bag, a duffel, like mine. She holds it in her left hand with an ease that suggests it could be twice as heavy and she wouldn't notice. I open my sight, and the floor drops out from under me. Her aura is nothing like Cole's, where his is muted, grays and deep blues wrapped around an impenetrable darkness. Hers is a controlled blaze. reds and deep golds held in rigid formation, discipline made visible, every emotion locked down and organized with a precision that borders on architectural. She feels things intensely. I can see the heat beneath the surface, a furnace banked and contained, but she's been trained to hold it. Years of training, the kind of emotional control that gets etched into your nervous system through repetition until it's not conscious anymore. There's pain. Of course there's pain. Everyone at Millhaven carries it. Hers is specific, a tight knot of something that lives in her chest, centered right over her heart. It's not grief like mine, it's rejection, the particular shade of hurt that comes from being sent away by someone you love. Not abandoned by a stranger or failed by a system, but deliberately released by a person whose approval is the axis your world turns on. Her intentions are guarded, not hostile, but watchful in a way that goes beyond the normal wariness of a new student. She's assessing the room the way I do, exits, threats, the positions of every person in her field of vision, but she's doing it physically, with her eyes and body, while I do it with something else entirely. Her health reads extraordinary, not just healthy. Peak, every system functioning at a level that doesn't match her size or apparent age. Muscle density, bone structure, cardiovascular capacity. My health perception is painting a picture of a body that has been pushed far beyond normal parameters and adapted to every demand. Whatever she's been trained to do, her body has been reshaped by it at a fundamental level. All of this I process in the first 2 seconds. It's a lot. It's more than most people carry. But that's not what knocked the floor out. Beneath the controlled blaze and the disciplined layers and the knot of rejection over her heart, buried so deep that I almost missed it under everything else, there's a thread. The thread. The same frequency I feel in Cole, the same resonance I carry in myself. A vibration at a level below personality, below emotion, below anything that training or experience or trauma could create. Something fundamental, something in the soul. My hands go cold. 2 people at Millhaven carry this thread, Cole and me. I've scanned most of them by now, surface reads. Nothing deep, just enough to map the social landscape and identify threats. None of them carry the thread. I'd started to think it was a 2-person phenomenon, something unique to me, and the locked book in the dark corner. Now a girl walks through the door and she's humming the same note. 3 of us. Dr. Reese handles the intake with the enthusiasm of a man filling out a parking ticket. He asks her name for the form.
Yuna Kwan.
Her voice is clipped, accented but not heavily. She speaks English well, with the precision of someone who learned it formally and hasn't had enough casual use to soften the edges. Everything about her is precision, her voice, her posture, the way she holds her duffel. She is a person who has been taught that control is the highest virtue and has internalized the lesson so completely it's become invisible to her. Dr. Reese asks about her previous school, a slight tightening in her jaw. She names an institution in the States. Her aura tightens around the omission, guarding whatever came before. She's already been through 1 placement before this. The transfer paperwork mentions behavioral incidents, damage to property, 1 event that resulted in injury to a peer during physical activity. I watch her aura while the words are spoken. The controlled blaze doesn't crack, but beneath it the furnace pulses hotter. Shame. Not the slippery shame I see in Rob Dunn's aura. This is the heavy, honest kind. She did something she didn't mean to do and it hurt someone, and she carries it like a stone in her chest right next to the rejection.
Thea will show you around.
Yuna's gaze lands on me directly. Her eyes are dark and direct and completely uninterested in making me comfortable. She looks at me the way she looked at the room, assessing, categorizing, filing. I'm a small girl with a braid and the general appearance of someone who hasn't slept well in months. She doesn't read me as a threat, which is accurate. She doesn't read me as particularly useful, which stings more than it should. Hi, I'm Thea.
Yuna.
That's it. No handshake, no smile, no social grace beyond the bare minimum of exchanging names. She adjusts the duffel on her shoulder, a movement so fluid and controlled that it looks choreographed, and waits for me to lead. This is going to be different than Cole. I show her the same route Grace showed me. Hallways, classrooms, the cafeteria. The common room, which is mercifully empty at this hour. The library with its 4 shelves and broken window. Her room, 216, right next to mine. She says almost nothing. She takes in the campus with the systematic attention of someone mapping a space for tactical reasons rather than social ones. I catch her eyes lingering on exits, stairwells, the width of corridors, the same things I catalog, but for different reasons. I'm mapping noise. She's mapping escape routes. We're in the hallway outside her room when she finally says something unprompted.
Is there a gym?
Sort of. There's a room in the basement with some old equipment, treadmill, some weights, nothing fancy.
Hours?
I don't think anyone really uses it. I don't know if there are official hours. Another nod. She's already planning her schedule. The first thing she needs in a new environment isn't a friend or a familiar face or the location of the best hiding spot. It's a place to train. The discipline in her aura isn't abstract. It's physical. Her body needs to move the way my gift needs to read. Yuna. I say her name and she stops at her door, one hand on the frame. Her aura tenses, the controlled blaze pulling tighter, defensive. She's expecting something. A question about where she came from. A comment about the behavioral incidents in her file. The curiosity that new students always provoke. I want to tell her about the thread. I want to grab her shoulders and say, I can feel something in you that I feel in me. The same note, the same frequency. And there's a boy downstairs who has it too, and I don't know what it means, but it means something. I don't, because I've learned what happens when you tell people you see things they can't see. They look at you the way the foster families looked at me. They call you broken. Dinner's at 6. Cafeteria's loud. If you want, you can sit with me.
Maybe.
She goes into her room and closes the door. Through the wall, not with my ears but with my gift, I feel her set the duffel down, stand in the center of the room for a long moment, and then begin a sequence of movements. Stretches. Forms. The practiced patterns of a martial art performed in a space too small to hold them, the furniture shoved aside with a scrape of metal on linoleum. The floor vibrates faintly under my feet. That's not the building settling. She comes to dinner. I'm at my corner table with a tray of something the kitchen optimistically calls chicken parmesan when I see her enter the cafeteria. She moves through the room the way she moves through everything, precisely, with an economy of motion that turns heads. Not because she's trying to be noticed, but because the human body isn't supposed to move that cleanly. It's like watching water flow through a pipe. No wasted energy, no excess, just purpose. Derek's group notices her. Of course they do. New face, small frame, an intensity that could easily be mistaken for vulnerability by someone too dumb to read the difference. Derek says something to his group and a couple of them laugh. I can't hear the words, but I can read the intentions, curiosity with a predatory edge. The same energy he brought to Cole's corner, redirected toward a fresh target. He's going to regret that. I don't need my gift to see it. Anyone who reads Uniquan as vulnerable has made a critical error in judgment. She gets a tray. She scans the room, the same tactical assessment she gave the hallways, and her gaze finds me, a moment of calculation. Then she crosses the room and sits across from me without ceremony.
Chicken?
Allegedly, the corner of her mouth twitches. It's not a smile. It's the ghost of a smile that got halfway to her face and thought better of it. But it's something. We eat in silence. Hers is different from Cole's. His silence is withdrawal, a pulling inward. Yuna's silence is containment. She's not hiding from the world. She's holding herself in check. Every movement controlled, every bite measured, like she's rationing herself. I wonder what happens when she stops rationing. I glance across the cafeteria at Cole's corner. He's there, hood up, shadow falling across his table. He's looking at our table, or more specifically, at the space between Yuna and me, with an expression I can't read from this distance. Not his aura, his face. An ordinary human expression on a boy who rarely shows them. Curiosity. He noticed her too. Not the thread. He can't see what I see. But something. Some instinct beneath the conscious mind that prickled when a third frequency entered the room. 3 of us. 3 threads. Same note. I stare at my alleged chicken, and the question I've been trying not to ask finally pushes through. What are the odds? In a school of 50 students, what are the odds that 3 people carry the same impossible signature in their souls? A signature that doesn't correlate with anything I can identify, not ethnicity, not geography, not the type of damage that brought them here. 0. The odds are 0. This isn't coincidence. This is something else. After dinner, Yuna finds the gym. I know because I'm in my room and my map never turns off, and I feel her descend to the basement with the focused intention of a person going to church. She finds the room, the sad little space with its aging treadmill and mismatched weight set, and she begins. I shouldn't watch. It feels like an intrusion, reading someone through walls while they think they're alone. But the data my gift sends back is so unusual that I can't look away. She's fast. Not athlete fast, impossible fast. The speed of her movements, translated through my spatial awareness as changes in position over time, doesn't match any human model I have. She's practicing forms, the martial art patterns from her room, but with space to actually execute them, and her body is moving at velocities that my perception keeps trying to correct, like a calculator returning an error. Then the weight set. She loads the bar. My perception doesn't register weight directly, but I can read intention and effort, and what I'm reading makes no sense. She's lifting a load that should be impossible for her frame with the casual effort of someone picking up a grocery bag. Her health aura doesn't spike the way it should under extreme physical stress. Her body isn't straining. It's just doing it, like the weight is a suggestion rather than a fact. She finishes a set, adds more weight, lifts again, the same ease, the same impossible mismatch between her size and the load. I think about the floor vibrating when she practiced in her room, the behavioral incidents in her file, damage to property, injury to appear during physical activity. Yuna Kwan is carrying something besides the thread, something that, like Cole's shadows, doesn't fit in any box the normal world provides. Later, the corridors empty and the lights dim to their nighttime glow. I lie in the dark with my map open because when is it not, and I hold the 3 threads in my mind at the same time. Cole on the first floor, darkness pooling around him like water finding its level, the thread vibrating low and steady in the depths of his aura. Yuna next door. Her controlled blaze dimmed to embers for sleep, but the thread still present beneath the discipline, humming at the same frequency. Her body radiates a residual energy even at rest. The aftermath of whatever she did in that gym, heat bleeding off muscles that shouldn't be able to do what they did. And me. Lying between them in the dark, the third point of a triangle I didn't ask for and can't explain. 3 people who shouldn't be connected. Different backgrounds, different damage, different impossible abilities. But the same thread. The same note. The same something that my gift can detect but not decode. My mother would have known what to do with this. She would have trusted her instincts. The same instincts she passed to me in a form so amplified it broke the container. She would have said, "Follow the feeling, Thea. The gift doesn't lie. The gift doesn't lie." Okay, so what is it telling me? It's telling me that Cole Mercer can do things with shadows that physics says are impossible. It's telling me that Yuna Kwan's body operates outside the limits of human biology. It's telling me that the 3 of us carry a shared signature in our souls that predates anything we've experienced or chosen. And it's telling me there might be more. I think about the 50 students at Millhaven. I've read most of them at surface level, enough to know the geography of who's damaged and how, and identify threats. None of them carry the thread. But Millhaven gets new students regularly. Grace told me that. People come and go. What if I'm not looking for 2? What if I'm looking for 4, or 5, or 10? What if this school full of broken children is collecting something without knowing it, the way a magnet collects iron filings, not by intention but by nature? What if we're being gathered? I pull the blanket to my chin and close my eyes. The threads hum in the dark. 3 notes in harmony, waiting for the rest of the chord. I don't sleep for a long time.